Okay. We're live. Good afternoon, everybody. It is March 25th, 2021, and it is Thursday at 6:30. And as you know, it's time for our Facebook Live. So we'll just wait a few minutes or seconds, really, for people to join us. I say that every week. We'll wait a few seconds and we will get started. We have some quick, important updates for you all that I think you will find meaningful and helpful. And then we have an important update to share with you all about something that I'm participating in this weekend, and I really hope you can tune in. So we hope to see you then. So last week we did a presentation for UCF where over 300 students participated, specifically for Venezuelan temporary protected status. And we have so many clients, even that are both Syrian, Lebanese, or TPS, or Venezuelan nationality. So we've been reaching out to our clients to tell them about their eligibility for this program. And then we have some important updates for you because there is some confusion on it. So once I finish some quick updates, I'm going to go ahead and talk about TPS, and then we'll bring on our special guest halfway through the show and to tell us about something that's pretty cool and different for me, at least, and our firm regarding immigration, personal injury, and other legal matters. So first and foremost, I like to start the Facebook Live with some good news. And today we received an approval on our H-1B case for a really special client who is of Palestinian origin. And so if you saw our stories today, he sent us an email that was really kind. And I'm going to go ahead and read that to everybody. And he said, let me see here. Okay. He said, "Thank you, Naif and Safa. I can't express how thankful I am to you. You guys have changed my life forever." So I know that this is why I do what I do and why Safa Matar does what she does. We love to hear this from our clients. And if you don't know what an H-1B visa is, an H-1B visa is a non-immigrant employment-based visa, typically for specialty occupation, which is typically shown in a bachelor's degree or higher. So congratulations to this client. We're very happy for you. And I do want to say a quick thank you to our other former client, Othman Belkadi, who became a citizen on Monday. The reason I'm sharing his name is because he has given us a 3-minute beautiful testimonial about what it's like to work with our firm and his experience. So we'll be sharing that on our YouTube channel later today. So if you can, please subscribe to our social media accounts and our YouTube channels. And this way we can go ahead and share his experience with you and his feedback. So thank you, Othman, for that. I do appreciate it. And I know that you typically tune in. So if you're here today, thanks for watching. Okay, so some quick USCIS updates and important things you should know regarding personal injury. So as you know, we send out newsletters about these updates, or I post them on social media, so please go ahead and do that. And one update that USCIS issued today or the exact date was March 24th, so yesterday, is that they are offering extensions on deadlines for cases that have received either a denial, a request for evidence, a notice of intent to deny, notice of intent to revoke. So if you've received this letter and your deadline is fast approaching, you can have an additional 60-day extension due to the COVID delays and issues with gathering documents. So that's some good news. For our Brazilian clients and our Brazilian friends, brasileiros, we have some bad news. Due to the massive outbreak of COVID and the unfortunate situation that's happening there, they have suspended many of the visa processing right now. So no non-immigrant, not even immigrant visas at this time, due to the really dire situation that Brazil is facing with the pandemic. So we hope that that will get better soon. And if you have an appointment, it's very likely that it may be rescheduled due to the circumstances on the ground. So a lot of people ask us, when are all the embassies going to reopen? And this is going to be case by case basis. So every embassy is going to focus on their situation around them and the pandemic, obviously. So if, for example, Italy has resumed some of their appointments, as well as Saudi Arabia. So this is good news. So it's going to be a case by case basis on that. We do have a question from Mr. Adam Khoury. Any updates in terms of DACA for permanent residency pathway? So thanks, Adam, for the question. As far as DACA, right now, the House has passed a bill for the American Dream Act, but the Senate has not. So what we are doing is we are keeping a list of people who may be eligible through this process, should it pass the Senate. And we're asking all of you to reach out to your representatives in Senate, in Congress, to ask them to support this bill, as most Americans actually support some type of path of residency for dreamers. So thank you for the question, Adam. This is still a proposal. It's not law. Please, everyone, if you hear from a paralegal or a notario trying to sell you services, do not pay for something that's not legal yet or not law. That's what is always a benefit of seeking the guidance of an immigration attorney, or more specifically an AILA attorney. For those of you who don't know, AILA stands for American Immigration Lawyers Association. I currently serve as the vice chair in Orlando, where I communicate locally with Orlando USCIS supervisors and provide updates to the Central Florida chapter. So AILA attorneys typically have a real good finger on the pulse of the situation. So make sure you consult with a competent and reliable attorney if you want to see these options. All right. So those are the updates. That's the good news. And I did mention that later today, we're going to have a friend of mine join and going to share something that we're participating with this weekend. So I hope you guys can support me in that. And if you wanted to be added to our list for immigration reform, go ahead and send us an email, naif@mubaraklaw.com or jessica@mubaraklaw.com. And I guess before we go into TPS, I'm going to take another question. Mr. Mahmoud is asking, how long does it take to replace a lost or stolen resident card? So this, right now, we're seeing delays from anywhere from 8 to 12 months, sometimes longer. A lot of the issues is people who are going to renew their residency cards had to get their biometrics appointments, and they were not doing biometrics for 3 or 4 months last year. So a lot of these cases are severely delayed. You can check the processing times at USCIS.gov to see if you are within the processing time. Now, if you're outside the processing time, you can send an inquiry through the USCIS website, and then usually they'll send you a response within 60 days to tell you what is the current status of your case and how long it's going, how much longer you can expect. So that would only be if it's outside the normal processing time. If it's within the processing time that they've posted as their average, they're not going to respond. They're going to say your case is in normal process. So make sure that you review that before you send your inquiry. So thanks for that question, Mohammed. And we're going to go ahead and give a very quick, important things you need to know. Car accidents, right? Unfortunately, they happen. I-4, bad weather in the summer, you're going to see an increase in car accidents. And a lot of times people don't want to wait for the police. People don't want to make a police report. They exchange numbers. The other person is really nice. The other person accepts responsibility. You go home, you call your insurance company. Next thing you know, the version of events is completely different. They've given their insurance company a new story. And now your insurance company is saying you may be liable, even though you know, and they admitted that they were liable. So if you are unfortunately in a car accident, please be patient, make the time to make a police report, because you don't want to deal with contesting liabilities or issues that are not true just because you didn't wait for a proper police report, because sometimes it can take several hours, but I promise it's worth it in the long run. So please be sure that you are going ahead and waiting for this police report. Another thing about car accidents, I say this every time we talk about car accidents. Florida does not have bodily injury requirements. So that means if you're in an accident and the other driver does not have bodily injury and you have excessive injuries, nobody's going to cover you unless you have uninsured motorist insurance, what's called UM. So please go ahead and make sure you contact your insurance providers to let them know that you need uninsured motorist insurance. Don't put yourself in a bad situation expecting other people to have proper insurance to cover your situation. So this can probably just increase your monthly payment, $20, $30. And so as mentioned, report police reports to get for the car accidents and seek medical treatment within 14 days. These are all very important things to consider. So I did promise that we're going to talk about TPS. There's another question here. How about the I-130 still banned? Mr. Musa, I don't understand the question, but I think if you're asking if I-130s are being banned because of COVID, in most embassies, those are the ones being processed. If you were from a travel ban country like Syria, they are processing those applications as well. So I'm sorry that question is not a little bit clear for me, so I hope I answered that. And feel free to send your questions for next week, and we'll go over them again. All right, TPS, temporary protected status. What is it? What do we know about it? And who has it? So TPS, temporary protected status, is for specific countries that are designated in a, some type of catastrophe or war. So the DHS will go ahead and designate a country, and very recently was Venezuela. Our office, all of our friends in AILA and activists have been lobbying for TPS for Venezuelans because the country has been in turmoil for over a decade. And the last 5 years, it has gotten so bad to get normal medicine and security and food. So TPS is now been designated for Venezuelans. So what does it mean? TPS for Venezuelans means that you are protected from deportation, that you can have a travel document in case you need to travel, and you also get a work authorization document. This protection is good for 18 months. Okay, who else has TPS? Syrian TPS has been redesignated. So if you've arrived recently in the last 6 months to a year, you may be eligible for Syrian TPS. In order to qualify for Venezuelan TPS, you must have been in the US by March 8th, 2021. So actually, something that's interesting is although it's the newest grant of TPS, it's the largest number of people. There are more than 300,000 Venezuelans eligible for temporary protected status, which is the largest number compared to anybody else. Another question that we've seen, and again, we have an hour-long video on our YouTube channel where it shows a complete presentation with me and UCF Global, our partners there, about how to maintain your F1 status or what you can do with your TPS and how you can register. So for people who are pending asylum, many Venezuelans have asylum applications pending. For people who have them pending, you may not need a work permit, but you must register. Something you need to know about TPS, guys, is there's a window of opportunity to register for this program. If you do not register, it could be gone forever. For example, right now we have Haitian TPS, only eligible for those who registered some 10 years ago. So if you don't register today, you could lose this opportunity forever. So TPS is super important. And just another quick question before I bring on my special guest and something really cool that we're trying this week, and I hope you guys can support us. I want to just tell you a little bit more about dual citizenship. So there's a lot of clients who have dual nationality, meaning that they have an Italian passport, they have a Spanish passport or Lebanese passport, but they're also Venezuelan. So sometimes they ask, can I still apply for TPS if this is my situation? The answer is it depends. The most legal common answer that you get is it depends on your situation. Why? Because typically firm resettlement is usually not allowed. So if you've resettled somewhere permanently, like you went to Mexico, you got married, you got the green card version of Mexico, then you don't necessarily need a temporary protected place to stay because you have an alternative from your home country. Now, even if you entered on an Italian passport, but you were born in Venezuela, you lived your whole life in Venezuela, you could still qualify for TPS. We just have to demonstrate that you were residing in Venezuela prior to here and that you do not have a permanent resettlement. If you lived in Europe for 4 or 5 years and then you came to the US, you may have a problem. So if this is you, we definitely ask you all to please have a consultation. If you are an international student, we offer discounted rates, so feel free to reach out to us. Okay, so we are about halfway through the show, and I'm about to bring on a good friend and very knowledgeable in his field, and I'm going to be a guest on his own show, and he's going to tell us about it shortly. So if you guys could help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Daoud Rosen, and here he is.
Hi everyone, how's everyone doing today?
I think you're on mute.
I am? Can you hear me?
No, you're good. I can hear you. You're good. That's my fault. Welcome, Daoud. I know you're at a convention, so thanks for making it during your busy time over there.
Oh, no, it's all great. I'm happy to be participating in this incredible contribution that you do. I've been following you lately and keep up the good work. I love seeing the billboards everywhere I drive around in Orlando.
Yeah, they're not everywhere, but thank you. I appreciate that. If you want to tag us on the billboard, please feel free to do so. Daoud, where are you right now? So tell us a little bit where you are and the line of work that you do so that everybody can have an idea about your expertise and your specialty, and then I'll tie that into what we plan on doing this weekend.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I'm in Orlando right now. I'm originally a Canadian citizen. I kind of bringing into this whole immigration topic over here. I moved to Orlando in 2002. I've been practicing real estate for well over 12 years. I seem to have got into the real estate market pretty much when everybody was exiting out, and that was in approximately 2008 when the market was crashing. But you would think it'd be the worst time to get into the real estate market, but for myself, it actually opened up a really great opportunity because I was able to cater to my fellow Canadian citizens and actually bring Canadians to Florida as an incredible investment opportunity when the prices were 20%, 30% what the value was at the time.
Were you doing real estate in Canada before you came here?
No, actually, I was a student in Canada and fell in love with Florida when I visited the first time in January. And I thought it was surprising that there was actually palm trees and no snow when you're coming from a cold place like Canada.
Canadians do. That's why the snowbirds and a lot of our clients tend to come down here all the time. So, Daoud, besides viewing real estate for more than 10 years and going through the immigration process yourself, I mean, I think you have experience with very important aspect of people's life, right? So immigration, the right to live here, the right to work. So what would you say is something somebody should look for when they're looking for a realtor or choosing? Because, a lot of people say, in Arabic, throw a rock and you'll hit a realtor, right? Because there's so many. So how would you say to somebody about finding the right realtor for them?
I would definitely start off by suggesting not to listen to what your relatives say, because there's definitely an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, or somebody that does real estate. Mostly, just like the tides roll in, they often roll back out again. And that happens very often in the real estate space as well, too. When the market is hot, everybody's a realtor. And then when we go into some kind of a recession or a major correction, everybody's jumping ship and going into another field. So definitely work with someone who has the experience, knows the area, and more importantly, there's so many different areas of real estate. So depending on what your interest is and what you're looking for, there's definitely the right match in terms of the type of person that's in line with your personality type, that's in line with the knowledge base that you're requiring, whether it's commercial real estate, whether it's residential real estate, whether you're looking for an investment or you're looking to purchase a business, or even if you're looking to get a green card through the real estate process in one of the regionally approved centers for an EY, for example.
You really need to identify your own needs, right?
Exactly.
And go find somebody who can help you with your needs and your goals. So everybody's, yes, we bring in other professions all the time, but the reason I brought Dawood in is because he's been so kind to invite me onto his radio show. So Dawood has a radio show or a program, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. I will be there this Saturday, taking questions and answering, and I hope that you guys can tune in and continue to tune in for Dawood. And he's like last week, he interviewed somebody, the owner of Gideon's Bakery. He's had the owner of Fresco's, very near and dear to me on there. So, and also all sorts of entrepreneurs. So I think it's a really interesting way to have a conversation. So, Dawood, can you tell us a little bit about your program?
So the show is called Real Sense Now, and the reason why we called it Real Sense Now is because I felt like it lent to my personality type. It covered the majority of what it is that I do on a day-to-day basis by giving you a real sense of what's going on in various aspects of real estate, whether you're buying a residential home, or you're considering buying a vacation property, a second home, if you're considering doing a fix or flip, if you're looking to list your house, buy a house. We wanted to provide you with all the pertinent information that sets you up for success, because I truly believe that real estate is the cheat code for being successful. The majority of millionaires and now billionaires have had a lot of their wealth created from real estate. And what better way to educate people that maybe are not really familiar with it or don't even know where to start, by actually having a very simple conversation that they can tune in on a radio show, which airs on Saturdays between 11 and 12 on 105.5, 660 AM. You can always catch the show online at floridamanradio.com. And most importantly, if you follow me on any one of my social media platforms, that's Dawood Bedrosian on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, or Instagram, you could definitely catch snippets of the show. And my YouTube channel actually hosts the whole segments. So it's a really good way to plug into some really current topics in the real estate space. And more importantly, I try to reserve the last segment of the show, which I like to call Hometown Love, where we feature these great Orlando stories with friends that have made a difference or contribute to the culture of the food scene, or anything interesting going on that really shows up our beautiful city.
You did touch on something earlier. You're talking about green cards and through investment. So this Saturday, for those of you who watch or want immigration updates, we're going to talk about the investments that can lead to a way to live here, the issues with investors and real estate, a lot of common mistakes. So, or misnomers, as we should say, or people who have myths about how I can buy a house and then I can get a green card, right? No.
I get that all the time, as I'm sure you do as well too.
Everybody hears these different things. So please join me and Dawood this Saturday at 11 o'clock. It'll be probably, I've not been to a radio station, but I've been on the radio a couple times, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a fun experience.
Usually I'm trying to win a prize or something, somebody to
don't worry. We'll something for you when you come, I promise.
On the radio show. But this program is really I just love to see you mixing it up and changing in the industry and being creative. And I think everybody can learn from that. So thanks for being on the show today. And if you guys can tune in for next week, we'll be there. Next week we'll be here every Thursday as we are. Actually, I'll have my second vaccine then, so maybe I'll be sick. But we'll see where we are next week, Thursday. But this Saturday at 11, catch me and Dawood for a whole hour talking about all sorts of topics from real estate, immigration, and even other questions that you guys may have. And would love it if you guys could follow Dawood's social media pages. And we'll see you guys here next week. And Dawood, thank you for joining me on short notice in the middle of a conference. So it's much appreciated.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.